Hi, my name is James Rogers, and I'm part of Nexus Youth and Family Services therapy team. And today we're going to be talking about habits. This is something that has been just so transformational in my life. And so hopefully this will be valuable to you as well. The tagline for today is small disciplines, big results. Small disciplines equal big results. And again, habits are just the things, the daily things that we do to reach our goals. And so we're going to be talking about that. This is a small introduction into our topic as a whole. Here's kind of what we'll be going over. We went over a small introduction, but then we'll talk about who before do, starting and then stopping habits as well. So who before do, because we start and stop habits so often, right? So here's what I'd like to say. With any habit, always start with who. In 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says to start with the end in mind. So in this kind of even tagged along with Atomic Habits by James Clear, start with who you want to become. So let's say you want to be someone that is known to be, waking up early or exercises every single day. Maybe you want to start there. Well, instead of just starting it, start with who you want to become. Look at maybe this next year, who do you want to become, and start taking that identity. Because a lot of the times our current habits are a reflection of who we believe we are. So let's say we sleep in. We believe that we're someone who sleeps in. We believe that we're someone who is the type of person that doesn't eat healthy, that smokes, that drinks. A lot of our current behaviors are a reflection of our current identity, and vice versa. Some of our good behavior and good kind of habits are a reflection of our identity of who we want to become. Maybe we want to become someone that dresses really nicely. Well, we're going to buy certain clothing, or maybe we're someone that wants to be known for maybe their health or their food that they cook. Well, that identity then results in how you respond or what you do. And what we tend to do is we get stuck in this crazy cycle, as it's called, of unhealthy identity causes unwise habits. So I'm not the type of person that eats healthy. So then we eat junk food until 9 p.m. And then that reinforces that. See, I told you I'm not that person. Now, what we should do is create and form that identity first. Okay, I am someone who can eat healthy. Now, of course, it can't just stop there. There has to be follow through, right? You can't just say, I am someone who eats healthy and then eat a bag of chips. Like, that's not going to work, right? So what we want to focus on first is who we want to become. And I would say start with one identity, one habit first, which is maybe getting up early. That is also something I tell people all the time. The best thing to start with is getting up early, because if you get up early, you can start doing more things and get more focused. So maybe it's someone who wants to get up early. Well, what's the type of person? The who, you want to get up early, right? So now we're going to be talking about kind of starting, or the do, the action steps. So starting. Do consistently what others do occasionally. That is that's a phrase that I want you to say to yourself almost every single day if you can. Do consistently what others do occasionally. So often we say we get up early, or we want to be someone who gets up early. We have that identity. We have that who. But the problem is we don't have a consistent habit of doing that. What do? Is we occasionally do it, right? Maybe we get up early here or there every now and then, but do consistently what others do occasionally. And again, start small. There's nothing more time wasting than going big and not following through, right? So do consistently, start with who. So we're going to continue with the waking up early, but again, you can apply this to anything. Let's say you want to get up early. Okay, well, who you want to become? I want to be someone who gets up early. Okay, well, what do you want to do? Maybe I want to get up 10 minutes every single day. That's a consistent habit. That is something that you can do. You can set an alarm. You can go to bed early so you can get up 10 minutes. And then eventually what you could do is, well, that seems so easy. Then eventually you get to a spot where I can get up like 15 minutes early. So then you get up 15 minutes early. And then it's 30 minutes early. Then it's an hour earlier. But you want to consistently get the same amount of sleep, wake up at the same time every single day, and build that consistent habit until it gets easier, and then moving on. That's something that I have found that has been so helpful. Find a consistent time. Maybe it's even getting up early on Monday or Tuesday, whatever it is, getting up early one day and then starting maybe getting up early 2 days a week. But start small and do it consistently. Again, there's nothing more time wasting than just starting so big and not following through. So let's take this for example. Let's do a small example. Your identity, you want to be a better friend. So your identity is become the type of person who always stays in touch. That is something that you can do. The type of person who stays in touch. So what do? You call one friend every Saturday. That's a small win. Every Saturday, you call one friend. Maybe it's the same friend, maybe it's another different friend. Well, if you repeat that same people or the same kind of system or pattern every 3 months, you'll stay close with 12 old friends throughout the year, right? So let's say you call one person every single day for a month, and then you kind of do that with another person, or maybe you stay consistent and you do that same person once a week, or excuse me, once a month, and then another person that on the next month. You kind of consistently keep that pattern of reaching out to one specific friend. Maybe it's one friend, maybe it's two friends. Maybe you eventually get to the point where you're reaching out to two friends every Saturday and just staying in touch. How you doing? Whatever it is, right? So one thing that I want to emphasize is continually is to know who you are, know what you want to do, or who you want to do, who you want to become. Focus on that. What do I have to do in order to become this person? Start small. I'd always say start a little bit easier because, again, you're not going to want to start a habit that's very hard and very difficult because it doesn't last. So do something that you can do over a consistent pattern. So maybe it's waking up 10 minutes early. Maybe it's even waking up 5 minutes early. Maybe it's just not hitting your snooze button multiple times. Maybe it's like, hey, I'm going to be someone who just hit snooze button and I get up, and that's what you're going to do, and focus on that and get up, and just, that's easy. That's not hard. I can get up and go. So I would say it's the balance between doing it that's hard enough to build a habit, but also easy enough that you don't not follow through. Now, stopping bad habits, because I feel like I just can't stop. So often we feel like that, right? Again, this is something that even with starting a habit, is you focus on your system. Something that James Clear says in Atomic Habits is we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. Let me say it again. We don't rise to the level of our goals. Let's say our goal is to wake up 10 minutes early. We fall to the level of our systems in place, right? So sometimes this is kind of a cue cycle, or a habit cycle, right? There's a trigger. So let's say you have a stressful day. So then your routine after that is to drink coffee or go for a smoke, or maybe it's to drink, quite honestly, when you get home, and whether good or bad, or maybe quite honestly, it's you go for exercise. Okay. So then that's the routine. So after you get stressed, whatever it is, you eat a bag of chips, you just get lazy, you fall asleep, or maybe you drink coffee, or maybe, you go for a walk, whatever it is. There's a trigger, and then there's a response or a routine. And then you get that reward, a positive feedback or a negative feedback. Maybe you get the buzz from the coffee or the cigarette. Maybe you feel a little bit better because you ate food. And so or maybe you watch Netflix when you're stressed because you're distracted. And so you don't really have to deal with it. But let's be honest, you really end up having to deal with it anyway. We all have a system that we do. Now, what we want to do when stopping a habit is focus on the trigger. Go, okay, what is trigger? Maybe it's a stressful situation. I want to stop eating junk food. So when do I eat junk food? Where's the trigger? Maybe when you're stressed, you eat really, really bad. Or maybe even or focus on, okay, when do I eat good? What triggers me to eat good? Well, it's when I watch a video that inspires me. Okay, well, maybe we should watch a video every single day that inspires you to eat healthy every single day. Okay, well, that's easy. Or, kind of starting that trigger. What's a trigger that helps you focus on a good routine? And this works with a variety of different cases. This is something that I think even what we professionals call CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. So when we're starting a habit, either stopping a habit, I generally like to focus on the system. And something that's helped me stop a habit is by introducing a new habit or routine and focusing on that system. Because so many times I'll stop a habit and then a trigger will happen. And because I don't have something in place of that normal routine or habit, I'll just go right back to it because it's so easy. It's something I know. It's something I do. Our lives, whether we like it or not, we all have habits and routines. Whether you're a person who doesn't like a routine, we all have routines. But let's focus on having good and positive routines that we like to do. For example, My system is to wake up every single day, except for Saturdays, at 4:50 in the morning. I know you think I'm crazy. That's fine. It's just I'm a morning person, so it's easy. So I go to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30 at the latest. But I always get tired around that time. Now, in order to kind of help, because sometimes I'm not tired. I'm not tired around 10, sometimes, not all the time. Now I am. But because I wake up early, I want to make sure I go to bed. Well, in order for me to go to bed, I actually read at night because it puts me to sleep, quite honestly. I read a long, lengthy, detailed book, and it puts me right to sleep. And so that helps me start that routine. Well, I wake up early, and then I make my coffee, and then I kind of journal, and then I read. And that's a habit that I put in place, because what generally happens is I'm not the type of person to wake up early, as ironic as that sounds. Yes, I like the mornings, but there's so often that it's not a routine or habit. So what did I do? Well, I set my alarm 10 minutes before I wanted to wake up. So I started at 10 minutes. And then the first thing I do is make coffee, because there's nothing more energetic to me than making coffee, because I know I'll get that buzz, that caffeine high, if you will, and that wakes me up. And so I can kind of continue on the rest of the day without feeling tired or exhausted, because I woke up at the same time every single day, went to bed. So I got my 7 hours of sleep. But then kind of that routine is, even though or kind of what made it easier is I wanted to wake up early and stay up early. So make coffee, make something that's good. And so, yes, I limit my coffee throughout my day, but that is my first thing so I built that routine and habit. I made it easy. I made it fun, because I like coffee. I love coffee. And so that kind of helps me stay up. And then my reward is I get up early and I get a good start of my day. I read, I get my time. So it's actually even more fun for me to get up early, because it's my personal time alone. And I focus on that system every single day. And it's grown and it's changed a little bit, but it's been consistent. And that's what I want to say is focus on your system that you can do consistently, because that's how you're going to start good habits and stop bad habits as well. So again, this is kind of a small thing of putting into practice. Maybe you want to wake up at 7. Maybe you go out for 5 days straight. I'm going to focus on getting up at 7, and then on a 6, maybe a Saturday and Sunday, you're like, hey, quite honestly, I'm just going to sleep in, which is great, which is perfect. And then, but you're going to make sure that you wake up early 5 days a week, at 7, and maybe you normally sleep into like 7:30 or something like that. But you're like, at 7, I'm going to hit my alarm, I'm going to go. And so I would also say take a running list if you can, and check mark it. Something that has helped me is find an accountability partner who really holds you accountable to your habits. Because quite honestly, there's something about getting a call from a friend saying, hey buddy, how you doing on your habits? And I'm going, well, I did it and I lie to him, or I don't. Like, quite honestly, you have to be honest with him and go, him or her, and just go, I messed up twice. And he's like, dude, you wanted to do this habit. And they call me out, and it's so helpful. They keep me accountable to the habits that I want to do. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it's hard to hear at first, but in the long run, it's really, really helpful. Because I know we hate accountability, but let's hold ourselves accountable, because these are good habits that'll benefit us, benefit our families, and help us reach us towards our goal, or really our outcomes. So again, find accountability to put it more into practice. Here's some resources, some great books: James Clear on identity-based habits, Atomic Habits, and Habits by Charles Duhigg. And then as well as a great book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People as well. You can reach us. Thanks for watching. You can reach us at Nexus Youth and Family Services. We have great therapy or great tools that we can provide you with. We'd love to help you and your family, or come alongside you in the best way that we possibly can. So reach out to us as your needs. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Thanks.